Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Making It with Marcus and Mariana. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Mariana. And today we have a very, very special guest, my best friend and extremely talented. She is a model, she's a director, she does it absolutely all. The very fabulous Taylor Holland. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm super excited to be here.
Taylor's also one of my best friends too.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
gotta
For
make
the
that known.
record,
For
we
the
are
record.
all best friends.
Yes,
We're gonna be
yes,
best friends.
yes.
This is like well, you guys have known each other longer, but this is like an 8-year relationship for me between the three of us as friends.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny because we met Marcus at the same exact time.
At Coachella.
Marcus, we were staying at the same house.
Yeah.
All three of us, me and Taylor came together, and then Marcus showed up with his friends, and then it was history from there.
From there.
Exactly. Episode 1 of this podcast, I felt real honored because the meeting of you guys just goes hand in hand. You know, oh, that girl we love so much. She was also there.
I mean, you do get mentioned quite often. I'll be like, my best friend, Taylor. So this is the
I know,
face
it's
behind the name.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
An honor and a privilege.
Well, tell us. You are everything and more. So you have done modeling. What has that been like? I know there was a really amazing opportunity that you booked yourself. And what is that like being a model that goes out and kind of like has to do it themselves? And what does it feel like when you get that big opportunity?
Yeah. Wonderful. I know I was walking in here and I was like, wow, I got a lot of things. Like career goes to a lot of different umbrellas for me. As a model, who has been signed and unsigned, it's been a really interesting process. I do think nowadays, in the way that industry is going, it's the best time for independent artists. It's honestly, I mean, across a lot of aspects and musically speaking as well, independent artists have a time right now where they can be independent and still be successful. For me as an independent model, I mean, I booked all of my biggest gigs, Levi's, working with some really renowned photographers, doing some really incredible shoots, all independent. I did that through the first thing I did when I said, you know what, I'm getting these shoots. I think I want to be in front of the camera. I'm gonna, say that I'm gonna expose myself to my own dreams because, I hid them for a while. And when that became real for me, um, I went on, Facebook. I'm a big advocate for Facebook groups. If you're in the production industry, the modeling industry, any freaking industry, like Facebook groups, as somebody who doesn't have connections, is the way to get those connections. One of many, but one that I've gained a lot from. And then the other thing I did was research all the brands, local brands, fashion, clothing, lifestyle brands that I felt were attainable or maybe a little out of reach. And I went, wrote a little, a cover letter of sorts, went on all their Instagrams and just copy pasted. And I sent out maybe to 50 brands. Now, mind you, a lot of them didn't answer. Some of them answered and were just like, "This is awesome,
Yeah.
good for you." And some of them were really serious. And I booked some gigs through that, and being in that level, just kind of starting off working with brands like that. Brands I notice want to work with people they enjoy working with. It doesn't matter if I've been at shoots where there's people that I'm like, I've never seen someone so gorgeous, so perfect for the camera, like the most supermodel of supermodels, and they called me back, and I'm like, why are you calling me back? But on the shoot, I went up to everybody. I made sure to get to know. I made sure to share my gratitude. I made sure to be like the person I am on
Yeah.
set, and bring that to the table. I'm always a gracious person. I love this opportunity. I'm never gonna be like that person that's like, I'm at the top and look at
Yeah.
all those people down there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, no, I'm not, like, we're all here and we all got here for the reasons we got here. So I was noticing I was getting like called to do other shoots from the same people, whether it's people I worked with, whether it's the same brand, um, through who I was being on set, and also, just um by continuing those relationships. I then got connected through being posted places and this and that. There in the modeling industry, there's this new wave of the middleman. And so you don't have to be signed, but how do we find people all over the world that are incredible, have incredible stories, faces, like everything to them? How do we find these people? So there's these companies now that are basically like agents but not agents. So they go out and they get hired. So for example, Levi's hired a representative of sorts to go out and find
Like
people.
scouts.
They're like scouts of
Pretty much,
sorts.
yeah.
Yeah.
That get you work. And I got a random DM one day from this woman. Do you want to be in a Levi's shoot? Now you go on Facebook, you got to be careful. Like you got to be really careful. You go anywhere, you have to be really careful in any of these industries because you will get scammed 9 times out of 10. It looks good, too good to be true. It is too good to be true, but always go after it because you don't know if it's what it's going to be. I looked at that and I immediately was like, oh, that's so fake. I know a fake. I was like, I showed it to my family. I know a fake when I see it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but you know what? Let me see it because I'm never gonna
Just look into it.
I'm never gonna shoot it down until I confirm,
Sure,
that
sure.
any of that. Like
They're like, send
any
me your
jobs,
payment
any-
information.
Then I'm like, no,
Yeah,
you want my
never
social
mind.
security? Never mind.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm good.
That's too.
I'm good. Yeah. Levi's. I got Levi's through, through that. It ended up being real. I did as much research as I possibly could, and inquired as much as I could because I hadn't heard of this method of booking before. So when I did, I was really interested because if these people can get me a Levi's shoot and I can be on a billboard and I can be on the, in every single Levi's store and I can do that, like
And that she was.
that she was a world Mr. Girl Worldwide. I was like, Mr. Worldwide, but
Mrs. Worldwide.
Mrs.
Thank you. Mrs. Worldwide.
But after you confirmed she was real, like, how did you guys take the further process? Like, what was, like, your process through going to Levi's and, like, getting that? Because I know I had a lot involved in that.
Yeah, no, I do want to say it's really cool to see how much we've all grown in our careers. And also when I look back and when we all look back, like we've all influenced that in certain ways.
Yeah.
And so I got that. I went to see if it was real or not. It was real. And then I was 100% in. It didn't matter what. Of course I'm a yes. I don't care what I have to move, what mountains, I'm a yes. And they wanted a little video from me with my measurements, just doing a little personality video. And when stuff like that comes up, and it's been 2 things so far that it's come up, and I've immediately been like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do the job.
Yep.
Oh.
I would move
That
mountains
is strange.
to get to say yes to this, but they asked for something that caused discomfort, and I was a no. And then I went back and I looked at my commitments to myself, and that doing this shoe is 100% in line with that. So
Sure.
you call upon help. And I called Mariana, and she came over immediately. And she was like, all right, great, let's do it. Let's write it up. I was like, I need you to write it. My handwriting's like a boy.
The thing is, she called me, and I remember I was in the middle of moving. And you're like, do you have I just need help. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to see an apartment at this time, whatever. And you're like, I only need 5-10 minutes. And I literally drove, my job was 5 minutes away from me. I drove over, ran inside. You're trying to write your measurements, your name. You couldn't even write your name on the paper. And I was like, okay, cool. Taylor Holland, this height, this weight, right, great. On the sheet of paper, we went out back, and we just I kind of took charge of the situation, and just you were the model, of course, and I just was do this and that, and you're like, all right, which one should we pick? And I was like, this and that, and you're like, okay, and then
yeah, no, I even remember we picked the first take. It was
yeah,
we took a bunch of little videos, and I took a little take, and I booked that job immediately after I sent that in. And that was one of the most incredibly fun, surreal experiences. Absolutely. I mean, I didn't quite know. And the best thing about this industry is like I've never known exactly what I'm walking into. So I knew I was doing a shoot for Levi's. Now I didn't know it was a campaign. I didn't know where it was going. I don't know what it was about. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if it was stills. I didn't know if it was video. Had no idea. I knew where I was driving to. And for it to be that big of a deal, I mean, this production was no joke. And where we shot it was no joke. Having my own trailer, and mind you, I'm a PA while this is happening.
Exactly.
So my job in the real world I mean, that's the real world too, but in my day-to-day was being a PA. So doing the bottom of the barrel, catering to people, like taking their chairs away, picking up after them. It's like
other people's trailers.
Walking, regarding talent, and I'm walking to my trailer with a PA. He has a freaking walkie, and he's saying like, I have like Taylor, and we're taking her to and I was like, wow, man. I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, I didn't think I was above or below. Like I didn't feel that in that sense. It wasn't an ego boost. It was just a really wonderful,
a deserving moment,
surreal moment. Yeah. So like, I'm gonna go back to that too with a smile on my face,
Totally.
But I can still have these experiences. So that's been wonderful. It's been a wave in terms of my consistency and what's going on. I've been a lot more into production. I work full time on Judy Justice, Judy Verse, and
in that realm.
and I'm making films, making videos, doing things like that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you is knowing that your creativity stretches so far and your umbrella of work is massive. What other things are you getting into, like regarding filmmaking? And I know you do dance as well.
Yeah. Filmmaking has been a slow and wonderful journey, I would say. Coming from, I mean, I grew up on set. Like I didn't live on set. I didn't work on set, but I grew up around the industry.
Sure.
And that was very familiar to me. And it was something I loved to do. And I always cast myself off because I'd never tried, and I never went to school for any of this. I never did any of that, and I was like, I can never be a director. I am so fascinated with the way directors and DP. I'm so fascinated with the inner workings of these people's minds. I was like, oh, I can never. I mean, I don't even know what that would look like.
Right.
And I actually was in a music video. And while I was in this music video, I met the crew, and they were just some of the most talented and like effortlessly talented people that I had ever encountered so far in my life. And I needed to be with them creatively. We all needed that. I got friends from that. I have one of my best friends. She doesn't live here, but she was through that, and we creatively got together. Our minds need to collaborate.
You guys all meshed very well.
Yeah, and that was a period of time that it was a really difficult period of time in my life, and I was just starting to break free in the sense where I could, for the cheesy, like, put payment into purpose, and I wanted to make something. I wanted to see if I could make something. What would that look like? Started to think about it. And when I started to think about it in a real sense, I realized, wait a minute, I think I can actually do this. Because I've never actually thought like that. What would a shot look like? What would this look like? And all I had to do was start to inquire, mentally inquire, and then everything started happening.
100%.
I was like, whoa, man, that's a movie. I can do that.
I can do that too.
I need people around me, and that's been my number one success, is to have people around me where we can creatively flow in a way that makes absolute magic. I would not know how to do a single thing if you put me on and said, do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Down to today, my freaking boss bestie and I were making a shot list, and I'm not, disclaimer, I hope no one sees this that's ever looking at my resume in the future. I'm not good at Excel. Okay. I can't use Excel. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? If I had to do this on my own without having someone to just be like, oh, boom, Like, let's all make this streamlined. Like, the water wants to go through the path of least resistance, and finding the right people, of course, it has to be the right people. But having the right people, it just flows. Absolutely flows. And I mean, these industries, like the industries we've chosen, rely on people. They rely on teamwork. They rely on collaboration.
To find the same people, the people that have the same mindset as you, and the same creativity, the same way you found your people.
Absolutely.
That shoot, it's
absolutely
valuable.
Absolutely. And you guys know, like what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what's gonna, you've experienced it all through people. But when you finally find a team that works, it works well, and it feels so good.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we see a lot of big actors, they keep their same people around them, whether they're on set, whether it's behind the scenes, and that's just the way it goes. And it starts right now.
Absolutely. And I so get that now as a director. You see directors and you're like, oh, they always use this same. There's there's certain directors that really favor certain actors, and I absolutely understand that. You find, and I mean, if I could use the same DP for the rest of my life, I would. Like, I absolutely 100%. Would, knowing that I can trust them without saying anything, without having to be like, man, is he gonna know my vision? Is he gonna put it together? But 100% be like, no matter what you do, I know it's exactly.
Always, that's something that's so common, like the word vision. It's so hard for people to, sometimes the connection is super easy and your comfortability with somebody is like just instant, but it is hard to like translate your vision to somebody else so that when they're shooting it, it's exactly what you're thinking, exactly what you're trying to tell.
No, it's that magic. So I read this one time. So when multiple people are coming together in a creative sense, let's say it's called the third collective.
Sure.
And it's basically all of our minds together, and then them together making their own mind and that collective, and like that's like that magic. That's awesome, that magic that we're all talking about, where you flow so easily, is like that exterior collective when you all come together.
That's crazy.
That was El Faro. I mean, that was El Faro 100%, which is the first film that I made. I mean,
But so El Faro was also dance for you. I'm not trying to cut you
off. No. El Faro was dance.
Yeah. So, and even like kind of bringing in, so Taylor is a dancer, and to bring in your own creative, like, again, many levels to your creative spectrum, we'll say, and just to kind of bring that into a short film. How did you go from, because we skipped a lot of things. You went straight from there to there, so I'm going to rewind us before you get there.
For sure. The creation process of that. Yeah. I mean, the start of that. So that came from, a period of time that I finally said, you know what, I think I have something I want to say. And I think I want to say something. Now, what is that going to look like? Because you have to making something from nothing. And that was the part that, how do you make something from nothing? That's a big job. So I got together. I had a conversation with somebody that I wanted to, Ailu, that I wanted to work with. Yeah, shout out Ailu. Seriously, one of the most incredibly talented people and person I've ever met. So I reached out, and I spoke to her. We were talking about this entity, this character that we wanted to follow, this story of the concept of pain, and the concept of how that goes with life, and how life really embodies all of the joy and the pain and everything in between. And it's really a film about lightness and darkness. And as we really thought about that, and as I thought about that, we wanted to take an abstract approach. And I've really loved doing that. And when I make things, I like to share the world of it, and you can decide for yourself. And not in it's a bit of an abstract way. So how do you tell a story without speaking? Because it's no dialogue. How do you tell this story? How do you make it interesting? And I mean, I dance, and we thought of this, a couple of these references of this really uncomfortably emotional depictions of people dancing in all different films throughout all different points in our in time. And we battled with, do we want to choreograph that? Do we want to not? And I just knew, I was like, just let's leave that. Let's know that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to go and I'm going to do it. And let's just put it there.
Yeah.
So we had no idea what was going to happen. None of it was choreographed, but we knew that we wanted that in there to show the journey of life and the movement of it. If we're not going to move, places, if we're not going to move, through dialogue, move through our other vessel, which is our body. To do that was one of the most special things in the world, to not only be directing something, starring in it as a one-woman show, but getting to dance in it was the epitome of everything I've ever wanted in my life.
Imagine that.
And you created that for yourself.
And I created that for myself. Absolutely. I created that for myself through, really dark times. I mean, this film like saved my life. I wrote this film and I, after, formulating it, I immediately knew that I had to like break up with my boyfriend of 4 years. And I remember we were making the shot list at Echo Park where the lake is and the swans. And we were sitting there and I looked at them and I was like, I've said this, but I'm 100% going to break up with my boyfriend. I can no longer make this film and
be true to myself.
But like that was this film follows like the depths of despair, the depths of suffering, and I was just no longer, I'm gonna make this film and that's gonna be the end of that.
It's almost like you came face to face with it and really like
that's the end.
Once you started the film, that ended.
That immediately. So then I was filming this when I actually had just come out of that. And I just gave myself all of that freedom and all of that weight lifted off of my shoulders.
Hey there, marvelous movers and shakers, tuning in to Making It with Marcus and Marianna. Are you ready to be a badass in a career that brings you pleasure? I'm Madison, dear friends of your new favorite podcast hosts and friendly neighborhood pleasure positive podcast host. And holy F, I've got something mind-blowing for you. Brace yourselves, because your career is about to get a pleasure-filled upgrade. If you're ready to level up your career game and reconnect with your inner badass, you're in for a treat. Picture this, a 21-day self-worth reset course designed to unleash your inherent power, brought to you by the Pleasure Positive Podcast. We've curated the best exercises and pleasure practices for self-worth from over 300 episodes of our top-rated sexuality podcast. And trust me, this is a game changer. Every day, you'll have access to guided audio prompts, journal prompts, custom meditations, basically all the secret sauce that has turned our Pleasure Positive Podcast into a must-listen phenomenon. But wait, there's more. Dive into our private Facebook group. It's like the Hogwarts of self-love, full of support and connection to empower you through the 21 days. Now here's the kicker. This transformative journey is normally valued at $37, but it's on the house for you extraordinary listeners of Making It with Mar. Yeah, you heard it right, free. So if you're ready to treat yourself like the VIP you are, reclaim your essence and kickstart an extraordinary career, sprint over to pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar to snatch up your free gift. Your self-worth is like a rare gem. Precious, undeniable, and definitely worth flaunting. Don't wait. Take the first steps towards the career of your dreams. Visit pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar now and let the magic begin. Disclaimer, this offer is as wild as a unicorn ride with limited time and quirky conditions. Check the website for all the delightful details. Once again, that's pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar. pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar.
So the making of that, I filmed that when I came out of this relationship. So by the time we filmed, I was out of this relationship, and I knew on the day of filming I was going to have to kind of get back in there. And it wasn't until the dance where I really was like, it was a really powerful moment. I mean, that the room, and luckily, I mean, Mariana got to show up on set. I was like, come on set, and she came for a portion of when we were filming the dance. And I mean, it was it was a really powerful moment for me. It was the feeling of all of that coming together. We shot it really interesting. Like we wanted to strategize it where we're already, our camera op didn't know what was happening. So I purposely was trying to kind of throw him off track, and that's what we agreed on. So you get a lot of chaos in it. You get a lot of moments of stillness. You get a lot of what we wanted to communicate with the film.
Was it choreographed or was
No,
it just,
not choreographed. It was completely improv. We had a take that lasted like 13 minutes, and they kept saying like, Abel, so he's like, all right, cut. And I was like, just like, let me, what do they say? Let me cook. I was just like, let me cook. Like there was a lot more like I had to
13
say.
minutes.
And it's 13 minutes. I'm like, I mean, it's so cold in this room. I'm like dripping sweat. Like it was really, I couldn't stop. I knew there was more. I'm normally like, like, you tell me to cut, I cut.
Like watching it, it's you can feel the intensity without any words there in it. Like there's the intensity is so real, and you can really see the story of the pain and like you pushing yourself like through the dance. You can see it within you as you're dancing.
It also
put it all out.
All of it served its purpose. I mean, after he was saying cut, I mean, he said it so many times. I just kept going. I mean, but those takes were most of the takes we used in the dance scene were the ones after he had already said cut. That's where I spent a lot of time like on the ground and just doing all these weird things. It was more than I could have imagined. I don't think I really often step back and look at that as the accomplishment that it is.
But you also got to take it into a film festival, what not many people get to do, which is an amazing opportunity, and not even just any film festival, but it was in New York.
Yeah,
like you literally flew there.
Yeah,
on your own.
Yeah,
I know you have family out there, but like you got to do your own thing and like live in your moment.
I was so excited for that. I was so that was. I mean, I got to speak on a like a panel and. That was really cool. So, I mean, I remember, so we make the film, you edit the film, it takes so long. It's like, it's a process. And then, it's about ready. And I did all the research I possibly could. Where can I screen this film locally? Where can I submit this to? I submitted as many places as I possibly could. Found as many like local places to screen. The first time that other people watched the film, the second it came on, I was bawling. Like I was crying. It was just this moment of like, wow, people are watching this.
They're seeing me.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I'm seeing me on here. And
was it hard to watch? Like, some people can't like watch themselves do things.
Weirdly, I think because I wasn't talking, but I am really critical. Like, there's so many parts of that dance where I'm like, that it could be like so much better, or this or that, and I think what it was served what it needed to, because it wasn't supposed to be perfect.
Yep.
It was supposed to be like uncomfortable at times. Like it was supposed to, whatever. And as a dancer, I felt like I could have leaned into that in certain ways, whatever. As we all are. Find things to critique, but overall I knew that those voices they didn't matter. Like this was made, this is what it is, and I'm proud of it, and so be it. Whatever that voice in our head wants to say, it's not valid and it's not true.
No, I'm proud of you too. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, you put so much work into it.
I mean the process of that has been great. The process of seeing people see that has been incredible, because I mean, seeing them and them clapping, all the things, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the hand raise was weird.
No, just
are you raising your hand or are you not raising?
I was like, we got a problem, but Justin wants to ask a question, guys.
No, yeah.
So we're gonna hear from Justin.
It sounds like you developed like a real relationship with this I haven't seen the short film, shame on me, but I
was like, what short film called Shame on Me?
I haven't seen this, but it sounds like you really developed like a real like relationship with it, and that's not something you commonly like see. with a lot of narratives, a lot of people kind of just create like one-offs and just be like, yeah, this is like something I kind of just like made. But it sounds like here there was a lot of, I guess, for a lack of a better way to say it, you put like everything into it. Was there any other project where you've kind of like invested so much, or was this kind of like your only one where this was like, I'm putting everything into this, like to the point where it's like making me make certain decisions, like, you know, breaking up with like your boyfriend, or, you know, putting like so much like surgical precision into it? Has there been any other project like this, or
That's a great question. That was the one project that I really put all that into, that I had that connection with, because that character was me, but it's everybody, but it came from my story, and I think that's where it that's why it went so deep in terms of, you know, me ending like things in my life, like relationships and things like that, and really giving all of that to a production. So that's the one so far. I don't think that I'll never make something that's not personal to me in some way. Maybe I relate, maybe I don't, but something
Sure.
that I feel I would like to express, which means it comes from me. Um, so this was so far my one that I gave absolutely everything to. Though I do see, when I am fully giving myself self in projects like this, as we know, like our lives are connected, our careers, our personal, our relationships, every single aspect of our life is connected. And so when I start to live into what my fulfills me, my desires and my dreams, um I gain more power as a person. My voice has more power, and that goes across every single thing that I do. If I put myself as a priority and this project as a priority, that shows up everywhere else.
But you also, knowing you as well as I do, you don't sign yourself up for something that you don't make a priority. So, like these upcoming things you have going on, you're working on a short film with one of your friends, you're directing a music video for another one of your friends. So, you really do, and you have a 9 to 5. But you hone in, and it's funny because I told Taylor one day, I was like, write it down, make a calendar. We literally made like a tiny little calendar for her, and she's like 500 things going on. And it's like just to really see it. But you do not sign yourself up for something unless you do feel like you're going to put your 100% into that. So I don't think in the sense of El Faro's different, because that was you. Like there is nothing a part of El Faro that wasn't you. And I think anyone who knows you and who's watched that, and like now that you've even told the story behind it for people who haven't, you can go check it out. But that's what it's about. It's about you putting it in, because otherwise you wouldn't even be here. Like if I would ask you to do this podcast, you're not going to come here and be like, yeah, let me just mess around and be like, give you whatever version of Taylor I'm going to give you. You're going to be you. I think that's in most things that you do in life, you really are true. Well, not most, all the things you do, you're 100% yourself. And that shows in your work. Big time.
Interesting. Thank you for reflecting that back to me.
You're welcome.
No, because I don't necessarily think of myself like that, because I have the tendency to have a strong resistance towards.
Oh, I didn't say you don't resist.
No, I got it. No, but that resistance that I have towards, you know, going after my dream, doing something for myself that I'm going to be really proud of at the end of the day. I know it's really common. I know I'm not the only person in the world, but like I have a really strong, and to me what feels an unnatural resistance to that. So I focus mostly on that resistance and not on what I do after like when I finally succumb, you know, and I give my all to something. As if I want to put my name on it, if I'm going to show up, I'm going to show up, because I want to feel proud of that. I don't want to feel like I showed up and it wasn't something, or I didn't make something that was up to par with.
And that's when the most successful projects come, is when you really do put your all into it and show how much you care about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. So thank you for reflecting that back. I most of what I think is all the resistance and not, you know, my action. Right now, I'm very proud of myself, because right now I mean, I have to remind myself, I am reminding myself right here, right now, as we speak about this. But, you know, right now I do work a full-time job. I am working on a short film. I am filming a music video I just put together in
2 days.
cuss.
Yes.
Yes.
Fucking-
Wait, that's the second person to ask. I'm like, we curse all the time, of course.
Wait, you told me somebody asked.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking. So, fuck. That's what I'm saying. Literally fuck. No, I mean, it's I have a full-time job. I'm working on I'm making a music video, and I've known about it for a couple weeks. We haven't actually done anything since, I mean, it was Monday and I was like, we're filming Friday. I didn't even get work off. I don't even, I'm producing this and directing this, solely directing my first solo directing adventure. And that's a lot. I mean, I'm managing multiple things at once,
And you still have
all day.
and you're married. So you got
And I'm
your
married.
relationship.
You know,
You have a social life, you have friends. So
yes. I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it all. Yeah. I'm trying to do it all and take care of myself. That's huge. But also doing things you love, like, is taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I also like. I have a 9 to 5, but I'm gonna drown if that's my only thing.
Yeah.
And for a while, I mean, I took a break from modeling. I wasn't making any films. I wasn't doing anything because I was generating every day, so much so that I felt like I was over generating. At the end of the day, that was the last thing I wanted to do was anything.
Yeah, you didn't want
I was just getting myself to be able to get to work, do my job well, have a smile on my face, and that took most of me. Until I took it back. And I'm in the process of continuing to take that back. It's not an end result, but taking that back and saying, you know what, I have to do something else. And luckily, when I shifted that mindset, like synchronicity, like there's a bigger plan. We're not the only people that are the archetypes of our lives, So the second I said that to myself, opportunity opened up, and somebody who wrote and has never directed and wants to get into that came to me and had a few scripts, and one of them was a short film, and I really enjoyed the script, and we just said, you know what, let's make something happen. You call on whoever we can to make this happen, and then had my friend reach out, Nina Estrada.
Shout out Nina.
She's an incredible artist. Voice of an angel.
Crazy.
Really, and just absolutely wonderful. It's an honor to work with her.
Her music video is coming out after we do it.
Yes.
So
yes,
it'll be there once we're done.
Yes, May, coming to you soon. I want to say May 11th, but I don't know exactly. So coming to you soon. And I mean, I was so excited to do that. I did have a thought, I'm directing for the first time by myself. What do I do? I've never done this by myself. The technical stuff I'm not the best at. I don't know all the terms you're supposed to know. I'm going to make it anyway.
Of course.
I'm going to make it anyway. Don't let any of that stop you. I never went to school for any of this. It matters and it doesn't matter. Don't let it hold you back.
Sometimes you just got to say fuck it and just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's what I
call upon your friends.
That's what I did. Exactly. I called upon the people that I love and respect the most, in, a professional aspect and
personal.
I called Marianna. I was like, listen, I feel like you should be a part of this in some way. You want to be my AD? Let's do this. You want to help me produce?
I'm here for it. And here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad that you
know how to use Excel.
Dude, I could not even drag down. I was like, do I have to save this? She's like, it's all.
I was like, no, it's Google Sheets. It was so funny because too, I was like, do you want me to set it up for you? And it was like, yeah. But then once I did, it was like she had everything ready. It just needed to be filled in the blanks. So it's like that's kind of what friends are for.
It's teamwork.
Yeah.
Creates the layout and they'll fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually really, really proud of this one. I hope, I hope it goes well. I think it is. This is an all me, which I think is so cool. And came to me a little bit more effortlessly than I expected. I think that's my whole thing, is like this angst for what it's going to take to really.
But I think that's also what you've been working towards, is things just coming to you. in the best way. Like, you've been someone who has been working in ways of, like, one career path might not be it in this moment, and so you go to the next career path and you conquer that one as well. And so, as you conquer these career paths, I forget what I was trying to say. Yeah. What was I saying? I forgot my train of thought, guys. I totally forgot my train of thought. What were we talking about? That was so fucked.
I don't know where you were going with that. I don't know where you're going with that.
I was so good too in my head.
I know, yeah. I know.
Well, just know you're great. Because I don't know where that was going.
I have a question for Taylor.
Okay, go ahead. Ask her, because that was... Go, Marcus.
Oh, yeah, I have something to say after.
Well, I'm very excited to see your music video and see everything that comes from it. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing. What... just in general of like everything that you're doing, what is like your goals? Like, what are you really seeing for yourself in the future when it comes to filmmaking?
When it comes to filmmaking, making a whole lot more. That's my goal with that. I don't know where the ladder is gonna take me and what the climb's gonna look like. None of us can predict the future. I just want to put my feet on the ground and make things. I don't want to wait. And I would love to be able to have some of those be successful.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I think the cool part about finding something that you love to do is like you do it regardless of the money.
Absolutely.
So when that comes, that's just a bonus. So, making a whole lot more, having that switch up of being in, being out, being behind, being in front of the camera, making things that I think the world wants to see or needs to see, speaking about things that perhaps in ways we haven't heard and things like that. I really want to take approaches that are really, really, really personal and unique to myself, and always stay true in that.
Yeah, I got my train of thought back. Yeah. So what I was saying was because you're someone who has been working so hard and conquering all these industries, but staying true to yourself is why these things are now coming to you. You have worked, like, and I've gone through this experience as well, where like you're working, and you're like, when is it happening? Like, when is it happening? And little do you know, it is happening. Like, you have put in so much work to get to where you are, from, being in fashion, working in music videos in a different way. Yeah. Now you're producing and directing your own music video, and that was given to you. I mean, by a friend to say, hey, I have this amazing song, help me. And who better to trust than you? And in a way like that, it's very powerful to know that like every single thing you've kind of worked for leading up to these next big things that are going to happen. And we necessarily don't know what it is, but the fact that these little things are given to you, someone could be like, hey, Taylor, I have this feature film I'm working on. Like, can you help me?
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it's just like that. But you've aligned yourself with all these little jobs that you resist sometimes. Someone's got to be like, Taylor, it's okay. Go do it. You got this. Taylor, it's okay. Or, her mom's like, hey, tell Taylor. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. And you get to work, but you get it done. And sometimes it does. You do just need a nudge. And once you're there, you own that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think for everything you do, you own. So that was my point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. No,
gotta keep
I mean, this is sidebar, but in the best sidebar possible, we're talking about my career and all of that it entails. And as I said, like I could be where I'm at without people. I don't know how I would have gotten there without them. I could be. I'm not saying I wouldn't be, but I don't know how I would have gotten there and gotten through them. And you are one of the biggest catalysts. I mean, I have my family, fantastic. But to have you throughout all the different aspects of my career, standing by me, supporting me, whatever way you possibly can. I mean, once our industries lined up, that was even more so. But I mean, before that.
I said, there's a job opening, go take it. I say, you need to go there so then we can work together in the end.
Well, absolutely. Well, you couldn't do the job, so you relayed me, and then I got the job, and I ended up going from a PA to an AP.
But Taylor was the first you were the first person I thought of. I was like, I can't take this job. Taylor's got it. She's like, I don't want to work in that industry like that. And I was like, you're gonna do what I say. And here we are.
Yeah.
But I'm honored to be that person.
I so deeply appreciate it. I mean, it's been so many like different aspects. So I went from being a wardrobe stylist on set to being a PA. And so there's so many different things where I was like at the top of something and then I'm going back down, and to like not think of that as I'm going from PA to, or, you know, I'm going from styling, you know, shoots to now I'm doing, you know, cleaning up after the people that you know, used to clean up for me, and or, you know, whatever. And
don't think of it as a demotion. It's just like it's just the next step in the journey.
It's like it's the pivot. You know, you pivot and then you keep moving. It might be a different move.
Exactly.
You know?
You just keep going. You just keep pushing forward. As
you go. You know, going from AP to being, you know, an office PA, like things like that. I never once looked at them. Well, I looked at them, you know, and you have those voices in your head. They're always gonna say something. You know, I was very embarrassed to go back to a place where people knew me as another thing, and to go back and be an office PA. But I looked at it like, listen, first of all, get your bag, get your money, get your money, get it where it's gonna come. Get your money. It's not coming from everywhere right now, so get it where you can, and have no shame in that. And make damn sure that I fulfill my dreams in other ways, so that I'm keep growing. And that has,
that's not all you're doing. Clearly, with everything you're doing outside of it, like that doesn't define you as whatever your position is at your job, because you're doing so much more important things that mean so much more to you.
Absolutely.
So that's what you should be like. That's what you should be focused on.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. I mean, it's taken, you know, time and all that jazz. But I'm finally there right now, you know, after those months of not doing anything and how shitty I felt in my life as it was. And I just hadn't felt proud of myself in a while. Yes, I got up and I went to work every day, and that was hard enough for me, you know, like I got that, you know, you would be gentle with yourself. But at the same time, you know, that it came to a point where luckily I chose something, and luckily that that path, you know, showed itself to me, where I was able to get the opportunity to start working on these new productions. And without these, I'm so grateful for them. Without them, I would be okay, but that's the reason why I live. That's the reason why I go.
No, absolutely. And you learn, I'm sure you learn still at the same time you're learning as you're going.
And I'm a hard believer. I've always said, funny enough, it comes from me, and we're talking about how, you know, I have challenges and momentum, but momentum creates momentum. So I make the choice. Things come. This is the blueprint. We're all understanding more and more now. This is the blueprint. You make that choice, a full body fuck yes choice. You keep going. You keep going, and things will show themselves. So I'm now working on these 2 films. I just got a text a couple days ago from a production that I worked on as a model, reaching out to me. Hey, it's been like a year and a half or something since I did this shoot. You know, we haven't spoken, and, you know, whatever, but that's where it's at right now. Momentum, creating momentum, leading the things. What are my commitments? What am I acting towards? And, you know, that's all going to go with itself. Those are the frequencies that are, you know, compatible with each other. So, you know, I'm shooting the film on the music video on Friday. Tuesday I have I'm in a shoot as a model.
That's awesome.
You know, and a couple weeks from then is the short film. So it's really, really exciting. It's a very exciting time right now. I hope for just absolutely more and more and more of that. And then some. Getting back into modeling as I you know, move closer towards this. You know, feeling really good to start modeling, and you know, expand my career in that sense too. My ultimate dream is to be in front of the camera and creatively behind the camera.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
she's making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, we're all making it happen. That's the coolest thing, is like we get to see. And like, you know, today I was just looking around and looking at I think you're Mariana was walking Kona, and I got really sentimental in here because I just
She did.
I did. And she came back in, and I just said to her, I was like, it's a really beautiful honor, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm grateful I get to watch your life shift and transform in so many ways, career and your relationships, all the things. I was just looking at the animals, and I was like thinking about how they have, you guys, when they just had one of you, and like, you live here in the space, and how you've grown in your career, and how you've grown, and really worked hard and fought your way to where you are and are not giving up. You guys have so much left ahead of you. You're excited about it, and you're working towards it. I mean, I was overcome with a sense of like, pride, not in my ownership of anything, but in just my recognition of it.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. It's so awesome. I understand the feeling, like appreciating and being proud of your friends, just to like proud to be friends. I'm like, we're proud to be your friend the same way.
Exact same way.
Us, you know what I mean? I would totally understand it. And yeah, we're so excited for everything that you're doing, and we can't wait to see more of everything that you got coming out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So much luck on everything.
Thank you. I mean, who knows? Like, maybe I'll just like hop behind a microphone, start making music. Like, what else can I add? My sister's trying to get us in a little girl group. So
I can see it.
The next Cheetah Girls.
Oh, I'm not going in that shit. And then I can't sing.
I was about to say, honestly,
I got that. Yeah, we'll do it off camera.
I was gonna make you do it. I was gonna say, hold on. What country you doing?
She do got so.
Wait, how's it go? Oh yeah.
Honey,
I'm home and I had a hard day. Pour me a cold one over my leg. That's all I got. All right, we're done.
Shania Twain.
Yeah, then I played it for Marcus, and he was like, "Damn, she's not even that country." I was like, "She's not. She's more poppy country." Look at
yeah. Well, I mean, that's been cool. I mean, that's been cool though. Getting to be, I mean, we're joking about it, but musically speaking, that's also been cool to get to like enter into the music world in a different way. That was my dream when I was younger. How can I work in the music industry? I can't say I can't play. Well, I can sing mildly, not incredibly well. I can't play instruments. How do I get into the music industry? And that's when I was like, oh, I'm gonna style.
Yeah.
This most random opportunity came up to be a styling kind of associate, not quite an assistant, but an assistant, let's say, to somebody who solely worked for musicians.
That's
and I was
funny.
like, what?
Oh, I remember.
Because I said, I work in fashion. How do I get into music? And I was going on Facebook groups, creative women and collaborations or something, Los Angeles. And I saw this random post. And that's when I was like, oh, I can do that. I can get in.
She did.
I just, music has always been a similar place to all of these with me. So just getting to be in that realm, and get to have other creative outlets. These are creative outlets that are fulfilling to our dreams. There's other creative outlets that maybe don't even, have an end goal, but they're just to experience.
Totally.
That's kind of music for me.
I
basically managed my husband for a year
True.
musically. So yeah. I mean, I'm really excited to see where all of this goes. I'm excited to see where your guys' career and lives go.
Where we going?
We all got full plates.
We all have full plates.
And we eating off them, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. And we're sharing too.
We are sharing. Definitely sharing.
We're really good at that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes we're good at sharing.
And sometimes we're not.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think we covered everything.
Mm-hmm.
What didn't we cover? I think we covered it all.
Covered it all.
Career-wise, I mean,
yeah,
you literally have done very well-rounded young lady you are. Diverse, three-dimensional. She's got all the layers. She's a cake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Scrumdiddlyump.
From a cake. From similar places, I was gonna say cut from the same.
Yeah. Well, cut from the same cloth. I think that's the thing. Cut from the same cloth.
Cut from the same cloth. So like they're all in that space, that creative space. And I think that's the space that I love to lie inside of. But you know, I don't think I guess I didn't really realize all the things that, you know, make me professionally speaking. To me, they all seem like they're me.
Yeah.
It, they're all a lot of different things. And
Yeah.
I hope we can all see ways that we can make everything happen.
Mm.
I mean, there's so many times where we're like, well, I want all these things for myself, but I have to pick a lane.
Of course.
I mean,
It's
there's
like you can have your cake and eat it too.
you can have your cake and eat it too. That's El Faro. That's certain things where it's like having your cake and eating it too. You know, not having to choose the road to go down. I mean, there's so many people we know that are, you know, very, very, very famous people that have made careers out of getting to do it all.
Yeah.
Or, you know, getting, you know,
In the door is one.
in the door in the one, and then getting to do other things. You know, never choose a lane.
Yeah, don't get complacent.
Perhaps focus on a lane, but like never choose a lane. If it comes from you and it's something you're passionate about, absolutely do it.
Totally.
I love that.
Well, as we wrap up,
Mic drop.
I wish we had a mic for you.
Let's say, well, as we wrap up, I think it would be important for you to maybe just let our viewers know where they could see El Faro if they would decide they want to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Can they?
Can they?
Basically.
Basically, you kind of can.
I upload on YouTube and they can.
No, perfect.
Oh, she's like,
when I
Oh, yeah. Oh.
She's like, it's not. It's there when I say it is.
Okay, well, I'm
rewind.
gonna. No. I really have been desiring to put it on YouTube. So this is perfect. I'm gonna put it on YouTube, and by the time people watch, people listen, it will be.
You
on
have 2
YouTube.
weeks.
It will be on YouTube.
Great.
Okay.
I'll make sure to let you know.
I will be on YouTube.
Cool. You guys can watch El Faro on YouTube. I'll make sure you guys get Taylor's YouTube link, her social media handles, all the fun stuff, so you can connect with her. Maybe you want to work with her as a producer, a director, a stylist.
Yep.
All the good stuff.
All the good
Everything.
stuff. Absolutely everything.
Thank you so much for being here, Taylor.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you. It's a dream come true. I was like, I want to be on the podcast, but I didn't want to.
I was like,
thank you. No, thank you so much.
Fate, the stars align.
Exactly.
Stars align.
Synchronicity, baby.
Bam.